Good evening. This is the Elliott wave update for the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100 for Thursday, September the 28th, 2023. The market continued to follow current analysis, although morning trading this morning was a little bit wild and crazy, but the market did end up following, putting in an ABC structure as we continue to track a minute fourth wave. So I'm going to start here on the S&P, continuing to count as I have been. The finishing stages, hopefully, now we'll move into that fifth wave, but we're working at the second half of the minor third wave down. So here was the start of it right there. So there's minor 2. So this is the start of minor 3, which will consist of 5 waves of minute degree. Here we have minute 1, 2, 3. And we possibly are still in 4, although it is possible to consider this complete. A little bit cleaner in the NASDAQ, which I'll go over in just a moment, but here in the S&P, it does appear that we did get the ABC. I'm going to drop this quickly down to the 15-minute chart so that we can take a look at inside this move. And here's the A, there's the B. And remember yesterday, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave A, B, C, X, it's a double ABC. Trust me on that. So we got A, B, C, A, B, C, X, A, B, C, B. I knew it was in there. It just took me a little bit to go count it out again. It was overnight not clean at all. Initially, market opened, dropped like a stone, dropped like a big stone, from actually 14 down to 4,300. And there was remaining, and what's important if you're an options trader, you already knew that there was what they call a call wall at 4,300, which is going to be a line of support, which a break below 4,300 would have wreaked a little bit of havoc in the options market for the 4,300 strike. And so that didn't occur. It held. The market then launched. But you can even see as it kind of was going up and down, it was kind of violent. So it wasn't until we got inside wave 3 of C that we did get that straight sort of moonshot, so to speak. It ran itself up. But here again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, coming out of that, we would start to look for the development of 5 waves down, which is going to give us that intro, that confirmation that minute 4 is over and minute 5 has begun. But I cannot declare that minute 4 is complete. Going back out to the hourly chart, and the reason being is that fourth waves, of course, like any corrective pattern, can form a double ABC, or we could have, that was 1 of C. When this is 2 of C, we get another 3, 4, 5 to complete the move. And mainly because here we are. Now, yes, as Elliott told us that fourth waves normally find their terminus or their endpoint within the price territory of fourth wave of 1 lesser degree. That part it did do. Barely. So again, and on a Fibonacci basis, we know just from collection or just working this type of a move that the most common retracement for a fourth wave is 382. And that sits up at 43.87. The top of the previous fourth wave comes in at 43.82. So I already was now expecting that we'd get that continuation and that we'd end up at 43.82 to 43.87. And then just above that, we have the hourly 200 EMA. So it made perfect sense. Nice little collection of resistance levels. We get this complete and then we start down. So here's how it's going to be left then for today. Yes, that could be complete. But now we need to see, again, let me just drop it back down to the 15-minute chart, open it up again. We need to see this development because right now this is 3. 3 down. I'm not sure what that is, but if this is 3 down and this is 1 of C, 2 of C, 1, 2, we start to launch in a third and a 4 and a 5, and we end up in this area. Or it does turn itself around and it develops into 5 waves down. And what would start to really add fuel is that at first it would need to break below 43.13, but ultimately would have to break below 42.77 to give us confirmation that it's like, oh, wave 5 is indeed in play. So back out to that hourly chart. So again, since we're now looking for the completion points of minor wave 3, we're going to be looking at these fibs, which I've left up. Now, this is again, that 43.13 is again the 100% marker for minor 3 would be equal to 100% of minor wave 1. Well, we already know that it has exceeded that. So, but I leave it there as a marker for if we're starting to come back down, what it's more than likely going to start to suggest that we're done, that the fourth wave is done. One other possibility, ABC, A. So these drop down one more degree. So they're sub-minuet, or the minuet. Minuet ABC puts in a, been a long day. The sub-minuet puts in a minuet A of minute wave 4. We put in a B wave, which we may already have, or maybe we still have a little bit more to do. And then we still put in a C wave, which still gets us up to here. So we have to get through tomorrow's expiration before, we may head into next week into the start of what we're going to be working towards, earnings, et cetera, and the expectation is that I'm still looking for additional downside. But I'd like to get minor wave 3 in, get a minor 4, a minor 5th, and then finish that intermediate wave 1 of the larger primary C wave, finish that, and during intermediate wave 2, we'll be in and working on earnings. So, because then it all will fit in to the pluses and the minuses and the ABC that we're going to be looking for. It fits very cleanly within an earnings period. Now, going forward just for tomorrow, I got to leave open all the possibilities that I just went over, that we're not done here with this fourth wave, and that we will end up closer to that 382. Again, we have a nice cluster of what should be pretty good resistance in getting there. What continues to hold it right now is this is the 100 period simple moving average, which is watched pretty cleanly by a lot of institutions, maybe not so much on an hourly chart as it might be on a daily chart, but here I have it on here, and you can see where did it come in, 43.45, and that basically held us all day. So again, we'd look for that break. But let's see how this trades overnight and tomorrow. If it is done, it's going to start to drop, and it should drop pretty precipitously. It should just go. Again, we're in a fifth wave, we're heading lower, and it should go. The break below 42.77 is going to give a pretty strong indication that that could be the case. But let's not be fooled. The position of this fourth wave, if it indeed somehow turns itself around and puts in a regular B, we can come down, go below 42.77 at a fair amount. And then, in fact, I can show you, if I'm just going to see if I can get this to draw properly. Oops, nope. I want to put it right there. Yep, right there. And then go back over here. And I'm going to put on 236.382. And here you see them. So in irregulars, the most common is going to be 1.382. And that's down here. 42.47. That this comes down all the way there and then runs back up and gets back up to here. Fourth wave can can actually do that. So if it's a fourth wave on the top, and it can go up and make a new high and then come back down, right? Here, goes down, put a new low, comes back up. So it is A, then we get a 3 down to B. Remember, it still has to be 3 waves. 3 waves down for B, and then we get 5 waves up for C. And then still have a 5th wave to boot. So again, I'm going to I'll leave these up. So if you need, you can get in there and copy them. This one I'm actually just going to remove for right now so that we're not getting them confused with it being a part of what's happening within this B wave. So those are all of our combinations, supposedly, of what could kind of move us forward from here. That this could be ABC A of 4. And then we're going to put in a B wave, which could, because of the nature of the A wave, it's a 535. It's still, ABC, could drop us down, bring us in. I would not necessarily be looking for it, but it can happen. And we put in an irregular. Now, so what 1.236 is 4260, 58. 382 is 4247. And then we race all the way back up. So keep that in mind. Or we're just doing an ABC A. We do a simpler B wave. Again, moving that down to that 15-minute chart. I know this is important, so we just have to be able to see it and to play it. A, B, we get a little bit of a C wave down, comes in maybe 43.25-ish, somewhere in here. Finishes that, we put a B wave underneath it because this is, again, in the minuet. We get another minuet. ABC, we call subs. We call that then the B wave. And so actually, I would change these to, if this is going to be ABC and we pull it out, those would be that yellow color because that's what I use for the sub minuet. And then this would be this color up here. And then we get the same thing coming down in a B wave, and then we get that C wave. Those are all the possibilities that we have. And the way that this did not come off necessarily in 5, but in 3, causes me to give all of those different variations of what this corrective pattern can turn into. Okay? Right now, our moving averages on the 15 are showing pretty strong. Like we're still going to get some upside. That can change. It's a 15-minute chart. Our hourly chart is our moving averages. Pretty flat, actually, here. Our 200s are still up here. So they're all we need this is just to angle back and we get the 20 and the 4 and the 8 back down below that, the 50s, and we're in gear to go back down again. So that's keeping that it is corrective and that we should still have some downside to go. All right, let's go over and take a look at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ was the beast today. But we're in that same type of a pattern. Here we have minor 3. We have minute 1, 2, and 3. We're in minute 4. But you see, NASDAQ came up pretty dang close to that high, which is 14,960, with today's high being 14,947. So it got truly within the upper range of the previous 4th. And I'm going to drop this down to take a look at that 15-minute chart here as well. And here we have 1, 2, and then you don't really see that 3. This is 3. This is 4. And we're working on the 5th. You catching what I'm saying? 1, 2, 3, 4. We got a 5. This just is angling a little bit different. So S&P could go through its own gyrations of what it wants to do, or we actually did do an A, B, C, and that is, again, the minuet A of minute 4. And then this is an A, B, and we're going to drop down 1, 2, drop 3, 4, 5 to an ABC, and it'll be the B wave. And here as well, we can throw in just some fibs to see what kind of possibilities we would have if this decided to come down and do an irregular. So what do we have down here? 14,500, 14,447.48, 1236, 1382. And then turn, right? So we get 3 up, we get 3 down. So is this, it's kind of a strange pattern, but it's still an ABC right to here. This could be, it could be A, B, and we're coming down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then it would have to be pretty strong on the downside, but it can be. It can be. So all of these things remain in play until and the market will let us know, but better to know what the possibilities are, so that when it starts, we have some idea of what can play out here. So overall, excuse me, I'm not necessarily looking to call this complete. In fact, I've left the labeling off here because this did not look complete. So again, back out to that hourly chart. If it is, and I can put a 4 there, again, meeting a lot of the requirements, then very likely we start to go down, but we start to go down very hard. Now, again, as I just said, I'm not necessarily looking for that just now because of this. This best counts as ABC, as 3 rather than a 5, even though 1, 2, 3, 4, kind of like overlapping, excuse me on the voice, sorry, overlapping there. And then, it doesn't fit. It may have to. Let me just bring it down and look at it on the line chart. Yeah, I mean, it could. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's a stretch. It's a stretch. So this is 3, 3. You see it cleaner now? ABC, ABC. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we get a B wave. This is the A, gets the B. We run up in 5. That's kind of going to be my take on what both of the markets may end up doing to finish this out. And so I would suspect tomorrow could be as wild and crazy as today, as we get that drop, and then we get the rally all over again, similar to what we did today. So these fibs continue to remain in play, where the 382 is 15,019. Now, what's standing in its way is going to be the hourly 200 MA, EMA, and that's at 14,993. The SMA is at 15,021. So it's actually just above this fib. So, but we could get up into there, finish it. But first, we come down in our B wave. And I am just going to include that. Open this up. Bring this back up so we can see it. And what really a B wave can go all the way to 100%. It can go into that irregular. So all of these are valid. The only one I probably wouldn't really count on is this first one. 236. In fact, let me just take that one off because we've already exceeded it. But we have 382, which the market did come down and touch, then bounced. So 14,809, 14,767, 24, and 4,663. So again, if we include the if we include the 382s, we're way down here. So, I want to make sure I got the right one. I did. Okay. So that's 14,500, 14,447.48. And it can come down that far and then still rise up and get back up into here. So it could be wild. It could be crazy. And it may happen tomorrow, and it could happen again tomorrow, and then in through Monday. So we got a little bit in front of us to let the market tell us. Now, how do you want to trade this? Well, as a day trader, you're basically just trading it for the price action. You're just following the price action as best you can, and that's where some difficulty can come in, because I believe that the moves themselves will continue to be quite quick and very jerked around. Move up real quick, slide down real quick, move up real quick type stuff. Where follow through almost seems like, wow, that didn't really kind of follow through. You're looking for additional downside. It stops and they run it back up an equal or greater amount than what they dropped, and vice versa. So stay on your toes with all of this. It's going to be, it may be wild and woolly again tomorrow. But I do believe it does eventually settle out. And then we're heading into, let me put this back up. We're heading into the completion point. Once we get 4 down, I'm going to be looking for that 5. 4 down, I mean complete. I'm looking for that 5th wave down. And this still is valid, where wave 3 would be 100% of wave 1. I'm looking for greater than that, which brings us down to that 618. So we still got a fair amount of downside to put in that's going to bring us down somewhere in between these two. A full blowout can bring us all the way down to 13,500 to complete minor wave 3. So it's going to get interesting. So because we saw some very strong rallies, not only in the equity markets today, but we saw strong rallies over in the bond markets as well. You know, starting out, it was a strong decline. Like the treasuries were collapsing initially this morning, stopped on a dime, rallied hard all the way back up to finish not amazingly higher, but over a point higher from where they bottomed. So a lot of interesting stuff going on in the market that's setting us up actually for the next moves in both interest rates and in equities. All right, so that's kind of where I'm going to wrap this up for today. Good luck tomorrow. Follow the market. Understand that I try to present both sides because I hate surprises. Again, if it is complete, this is going to come flying down. And initially, what I think it could come is deep and take out 14,396 right away. Not only take out 14,586, which is the current low for minute wave 3, that and the minute wave 5 down, I'm looking for that to happen pretty quick. But I needed to just really take care of, like, is it going to be coming off in a 5 waves down? Now, that would be taking if we did complete it. I've already gone over that. I really don't think that we have. But stranger things have happened. So be prepared all the way around. Have a great trading day tomorrow. And the next update will be on Sunday, October the 1st. Time flies when you're having fun. Have a great weekend, everybody, and a great trading day tomorrow.